Okay, well, good evening and welcome to the June meeting. Our new website is now live and there is what's called a card at the bottom of the homepage, which contains a link for the papers for tonight's meeting. This will be updated each month. You can also find the papers and indeed the link for this meeting, but of course you will have it if you're watching this on the council meetings page on the website. Tonight, we'll have our usual reports, including the solar panels project and the refurbishment of the village sign. There are no new planning applications this month. There's only one resolution this evening, which is to upgrade the software used to produce Castlethorpe News, which is, by the way, just about to be delivered. In the financial section, we will consider the internal audit report and approve and sign the annual financial report, which is called the AGAR. No idea what AGAR stands for.
Governance.
There are two quotations that will be considered in part 2 tonight, from which the public are excluded and won't be streamed on YouTube. These are for the solar panel installation at the sports ground, and for which we've got several quotes, and for a filing cabinet to store Parish Council papers. The next meeting is on the 6th of July and will start at the usual time of 7:30. Right, so moving into the open forum. Tony, did you have anything tonight?
No.
No? In that case, we'll move straight in. We've got apologies from Darren Merritt by way of holiday. Can I ask if there are any declarations in any of the agenda items below? Wouldn't sort that. No. To approve the minutes of the last meeting. Is everyone happy with the minutes? No corrections or additions? No. Happy. In that case, I'll propose. Can I have a seconder, which is Steve, and everyone in favour? Signing up. Moving then into the reports, and we'll start with the clerk's report. The solar panel and village sign, which the first two items are on the agenda. The public art project, after well, an incredibly long process, but the funding has been approved by Milton Keynes Council, so we can well, we're almost ready to go through. We're just waiting for the funding agreement still. Yeah. Right. Just looking at the rest of the items 1 to 11. Are there any questions on those actions that anyone would like to raise? No. No. All right, looking at the carried forward actions, which are 12 through to 20. I mean, they all look to me as if they're still going to carry forward. The last two, yes, and these are 17 to 19, 17 to 20 are highways issues, potholes, curbstones, resurfacing, and leaning 30-mile-an-hour sign. I did put out a Facebook post this morning about North Street being closed on Wednesday, but I gather they were actually working on it today. I have no idea what's going on now with this. I mean, they put an MKCC notice out saying Wednesday. There was another one which looked as if it was traffic lights down by the school, which was from last week to today. I don't know if that was meant to be the North Street. But I frankly have no idea whether North Street's going to be closed on Wednesday or not. So
is this city fibre?
No, I think, well, I don't know.
Closed the road, Castlethorpe Road the other day and put traffic lights.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing work here quite a lot, but mostly on the footway rather than on the road itself. But because if it had been properly announced, you can see who it is, but you can't see anything.
No.
It's not there.
He dug up my wife's lawn about half an hour after she mowed it. So. Very lucky to be alive.
Right. So streetlights, 77 NS is constantly on. Is that the one opposite War Memorial? Yeah. That yeah, I must have a word with Catherine actually, because that's trees probably.
Well, it looks like the trees are clear of it.
Is it?
Well, it looks like it.
Oh, well, reporting.
I've had
Oh, yeah,
it several times. So.
Okay. Anything else on clerk's report? Can we move on? No, board and councillors report then. Would you like to step forward and perhaps give us screen round?
So we go. Okay, just a couple of minimize that. I'll find it. No, it's not touch screen, not that clever. Okay. Yeah, my other place. It's around somewhere. No, just easy to see. Do that stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea today, but anyway. So a couple of things for me. I actually had notification today from MKCC that North Street pothole had been done. So I presume it won't be closed on Wednesday, because as far as they're concerned, job's finished.
Right. I didn't actually because it was raining.
Yeah.
I had my head down. And my
Is this the massive crater just before?
on the
Outside
back.
number 22.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
still that.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay, well, I'll go back to them then, because I literally got the email through a couple of hours ago. Couple of other things that I have been working on. So I put together a letter to West Northants Council about finally getting the bridge repaired.
Yeah.
Which I've sent to yourselves and to Hanslow. I'm going to try and get the MP to sign it and the neighbouring councillors and so on, so that West Northants actually commits to the 24th of September date, because it's been put off now 3 times. And it just, the state of the road is getting so bad as well.
Yes.
They're just opening themselves to liability. So circulated that. It'll take me a bit of time to get all the signatures, but I know it'll be on your agenda for next month, the
Yeah.
formal sign off, because
Well, as I said, I can sign it in a personal capacity as a councillor and indeed chair. That's okay. But we obviously can do it as, if you wanted the whole council to do it, then
Yeah.
it has to be a resolution.
Absolutely, I want as many names on as possible.
Yeah,
So that we finally get it done. The other big thing that I've been working on, obviously, we have the impending feedback from the New Towns draft programme, which included MK North. We've had lots of people objecting, which has just been fantastic. But I today have submitted a formal motion for full council on the 17th of June, asking the council to formally withdraw that area from any consideration by the New Towns. Enfield has just done it for their site, and I've been communicating with the leader of their council. It'll be a bit of a tougher ask, because we really need a lot of the other councillors to come on board. But as soon as that's been accepted, I'll circulate it, and anybody who wants to come along on the 17th of June, we want to pack out the gallery and get people online watching and make sure that everybody knows just how against we are.
Yeah.
On very good grounds, and they have far better things to be getting on. So as I said, as soon as they've accepted the motion, I'll circulate it so you can all see what's going forward.
Thank you very much.
So that'll be a good fight. I'll also be contacting our MP again, because I did offer to facilitate a meeting with residents before the consultation closed. He unfortunately hasn't even responded to that. So I'm going to keep going back to him and say,
Okay.
he needs to come and talk to us. If he can justify it, because I can't see the justification of its inclusion. And the other thing, I've had a few different emails about our friends at City Fibre putting cabinets up. I don't know, is that on your agenda to discuss this evening? So as far as I'm aware, I've looked into the regs on it. In a conservation area, these cabinets should have planning permission, for as far as I can see. That certainly hasn't been done. I've gone back to Milton Keynes Council and said, can they please give me their selection of location criteria? because this does seem to be causing a problem. And I see that at least one of them has been filed as a breach of planning already. So
I looked it up and it says permitted development in conservation area, as long as it isn't a metre and a bit, doesn't take up more than 1.5 metres width and height.
oh really? It's on the premise development.
Well,
Oh, interesting.
well, look,
That's another one, but anyway, we'll get the stories.
I mean, it frankly was just asinine where they put it in front of lime trees. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a few metres away,
Yeah,
it would have been against the wall, unobtrusive, all the rest of it, instead of which they put it, right in front of grade 2 listed property. I mean, it's just.
Completely. I mean, I know we had problems in Hanslope when they put these awful big cabinet things up and they're very reluctant to move them, but that one, especially when I saw the photos and I drove past and had a look, it's bloody awful.
Yeah.
And again, it just, I'm finding common sense.
Do you suggest the other two residents that have got issues with where they are, that they put enforcement in at this stage?
Yeah, let me see what comes back from.
Okay, I've
The
also
team.
asked the question, because I wrote to Joe Payne, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
the same for you, is that who you contacted?
Absolutely.
Did you get out of office?
Yes.
Yeah, so she's obviously on holiday at the moment.
Yeah.
But
But as soon as we can, I know one of the residents has even contacted the chief executive officer as well and had a response asking for more details and we'll look into it, but yeah, it just defies any logic.
I've had to launch an official complaint to them. For some reason, they decided to connect one of my cattle yards up to the internet. Although animal welfare is very high on my agenda, I don't want them using the internet under 2 years old. And they wanted to, it's sort of too difficult to dig up the yard, so they wanted to put telegraph poles through the farmyard. And they couldn't quite understand why I objected to it. This is extraordinary, and I just saw the man just wandering around the farm, but
Yeah.
no consultation, no approach beforehand.
It's trespass.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I have to say that their approach contrasts remarkably clear.
yeah,
I mean, I know not always happy with that, but they did actually engage with us. They actually nominated a community liaison officer. Yeah, anyway. Well, good luck with that.
There you go. So that's all from me.
Well, the other thing is the highways meeting.
Yes.
Now, this council has objected to the last veto.
Yeah.
On 2 grounds. Firstly, we'd asked for 40-mile-an-hour limit on Bullington End Road because
Yeah.
there was that fatal accident at the top end of it. And secondly, we thought that the 40-mile-an-hour limit on the whole of the road between Tattle End and Gayhurst
Yeah.
was, really unnecessary. Now, I actually have, particularly with regard to the latter, I did first of all an FOI on all the evidence, and interestingly, I think there were, about 4 or 5 responses. Havisham said, "Oh yes," but that was really because they were interested in the restrictions between Havisham and Wolverton. I think you said yes, but that was because you were looking for a 20-mile-an-hour, and you were looking for some limits in Tattle End itself with the after the overturned car, actually in the application. There were 2 other, I think, responses. One of which was a cyclist who said that 40 miles an hour was far too high and it should be a lot lower. And the other was one that accused MKC of being a bunch of Nazis for wanting to impose any sort of speed limit at all. Interestingly, our submission wasn't there. So I put in a further request and I said, what I was expecting in the FOI was first of all to see our own response, what else has been missed if that's it. And secondly, I'd like to see the evidence that the highways officer had in order to make his decision. And I got a response from that just this last week, basically saying we don't have any of that information.
Right.
So I think we ought to have a meeting fairly quickly. Well, the trouble is I'm not around a huge amount now, but or I am going to put in a complaint that, Graham Cox, who was actually the chap who made that decision, appears to have made it with a random bit of input and no evidence, which by the way, I think is a dreadful piece of process. I mean, officers at the very least should have a file note of the reasons as to why they've made a decision, instead of just saying, I've made it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the first time that I've come across that when a decision's been made and I've asked to see any minutes or how it was discussed and conclusions come to, and there just isn't. And so, by all means, pursue the information. From my side of things, I was in favour of it because the residents most affected were, but also because I've taken the team and driven around, as we know, it was that last September, I think. And it was up to them to analyse the roads and do whatever they needed to come up with a sensible solution. So,
but there was no report from when you say they analysed the road. There was no report from them to say that.
No, what I just got back was the plan of what they were proposing went out to consultation. I don't know more than that, but we will do a highways thing, but I just need to get through the 17th first.
Right, fair enough. Fair enough. Yes,
absolutely. But we will, because I know Haversham and Hampstead would want to bring everybody together just so that we can ask anything and all things about highways.
Well, perhaps we could look at something in early July and perhaps try and get that sorted out. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Anything else for Alison?
Was there anything on the little libraries? Did you have any?
Oh yes, for your because here, if I remember correctly, it was just the repair cost that you wanted. If you can send that through to me, I'll get that out of the my ward budget.
Oh, okay.
And just sort.
Yeah, I think
Fairly
I
urgent,
said
it's taped up now.
Oh right.
Well, we're
Okay.
having a new one built,
Okay.
so it's just some money to finish it. I think it's 100. I think I've sent it, but anyway, I'll get
Absolutely. If you send me a formal notification,
Yeah.
I'll fill out the form and they turn it around pretty quickly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Moving on, Luke, would you like to give an update on the solar panel project? I mean, obviously we've got the decision part two. I think
We have reviewed, we've had 3 quotes now that we've reviewed. It's been a bit of a drawn out process because one company didn't actually get back to us. And then we had a few qualifications. The basic spec of the system that we originally tendered for was for a 20 megabyte system with half of that storage capacity, so 10 storage capacity. It's very difficult how to analyse the information we got because there is such a huge range in their projected incomes. But the savings that they have forecast that we have are reasonable and well worth pursuing. We've also opted for the battery storage capacity because it will allow us to top up the battery at night when the electricity is cheaper. So we will get an additional saving on top of the solar saving. That again is very difficult to quantify until we have a consistent usage within the pavilion, which at the moment we don't. We don't have enough history. There might be one minor change to the quotes as we look at them, but I think I'd rather deal with that in part 2.
Yeah, obvious. But the key message is we have a recommendation. We have a recommendation. We hope to make a decision tonight. That's great. David, got anything on the?
I've got a couple of things to say. I mean, we are making progress, albeit slowly. I've just had the first design drawing came through about 10 minutes ago.
All right.
Okay, so I'll be able to put something out tomorrow for you all to see. So I've not even had a chance to look at myself yet. The other thing is we've been able to determine where the power was coming from for the sign, and we've had the power isolated, which means we can actually do any work now safely. I mean that's basically it. So we are moving ahead. But like I say, albeit slowly. So as and when I get more information, I'll let you all know. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Sorry, Phil, I've just had an email back from MKCC about City Fibre. Do you want me just to?
Yeah, it's gone.
Completely, you want to stay on?
That's fine.
because my casework email has just come back from Highways. And it says the installation of the cabinet by City Fibre was agreed in principle by the Streetworks team. There are no safety issues with this installation. We've also reminded City Fibre that it's their responsibility to liaise with any affected properties on their works. We suggest that the resident contacts City Fibre directly to ask them if they would consider relocating the cabinet or changing the appearance. As we understand it, the cabinet is not yet connected up. And then they just give contact details of City Fibre. So not great, and not actually the response to the question that I asked, but they're saying go via City Fibre. So I'll make
Which, I
contact
mean,
with
City
Fibre as
Fibre
well.
will just say, well, we're not moving it, won't they?
Maybe, we'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see.
Number 5, there you go. Put it on the press.
I think that is being very slopey shouldered at Milton Keynes Street Works. I mean,
Absolutely.
they ought to, yeah, I mean, they ought to say, did you liaise with the householder as we require? And if they didn't, you say, well, you better do that. And if the household doesn't agree, you'll have to move it.
Well, and that's very typical of whenever I ask a difficult question, they don't actually have an answer. Because my question was send me what selection criteria that you provide City Fibre, and they haven't.
Can I ask you, have you dealt with the new Highways cabinet member?
Who is it this
I'm
time?
trying to think who it is offhand. I haven't brought the list with me.
Hi, is it Lauren?
No, it's not Lauren. Lauren's got
Or is it
some really
Jenny?
odd governance things as deputy leader.
I can't remember
It's-
who's
yeah.
got Highways.
Yeah.
Shanika. Shanika's planning.
Anyway, I mean,
But yes, I will, I know who all the cabinet.
and certainly, I mean, this business of no notes being taken on highways issues, I think the cabinet member ought to be saying you've got to do that.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
mean,
point.
yeah.
I'll have a word,
Yeah,
because it's a complete lack of governance when you can't.
It is, yeah,
No audit
yeah.
trail of why
Yeah.
decisions, because that's what they did with the 33 bus. There was no record of any of the meetings they'd had about it before they changed it.
yeah,
Go figure.
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Right, there are no planning applications. Does anyone want to comment on no new planning applications this month? Does anyone want to comment on any of the previous planning applications that we've considered? Which,
Yes, please.
hmm?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
44, 45 Checkers.
yeah,
The hedges have become totally overgrown to the point where they're now blocking the pavement. It's mostly brambles that are coming out as well.
oh,
I cut my leg walking past there today, delivering the newsletters. So I've got a personal interest,
yeah.
but not that personal.
Can I ask, did enforcement do anything about the fibre glass?
It looks like it did, yes. It was certainly on site. And
Yeah.
they're doing something up in the roof, so it looks like they have reacted to that.
Okay,
And there's been no more complaints, so.
well, how did we do that? Did you put it? Yeah, could you do the same with the hedges? Because the trouble is you're not meant to cut hedges at this time of the year, but I think
You've got land if it obstructs a public right of way.
you can.
So side of the road, side of the path, you're allowed.
Okay.
So,
Also, we're all right in that little,
Yeah, well,
That's
it should
the
be
way
check
between-
for nests,
yes,
but there's nests there and
yeah.
there's no nests.
Okay, well, anyway, if you then are accountable to enforce that, I think it's probably the easiest way of doing it. So I don't think we've got any direct contact
No.
with the developer. Anything else in section 6?
6.5 was approved, that was after the minutes, after the agenda.
All right, okay.
Mhm.
Was there any decision about the new tree or not?
No.
Yeah.
I think they said it would keep removing that tree will allow the existing trees more room to expand, so.
Okay. All right. Moving into section 7 and resolutions, we've got a part 2. So if I can propose that, I think I need a seconder for it, which is Luke, and all in favour? Yeah. 7.2 is to consider upgrading the editor software for Castlethorpe News. This is a request from Nigel and Annie Handyside when they were working on the latest edition. They said it would make life an awful lot easier for them if they could have an upgrade module. And it's about £100 a year. Are we all okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, they do such a fantastic job, you know, that be hard to begrudge them. So, yeah, we're all in favour, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so now moving on to the payment schedule. So, the luminous lights, you're just doing that as a,
Yeah, it's a pro forma, so I need to pay before they will put the order through.
okay,
But they're not in stock at the moment, so it's not,
yeah.
so you could wait for now.
Right, so
Okay,
we'll
at least-
get their money together first and then we'll pay them up front and they'll deliver when they've got them.
Once I've got the order.
Yeah. The, at least it secures the price, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got this
Thank you.
account, so setting up an account with them.
Oh,
okay. And that looks as if. Are there any questions on the payment schedule?
No.
Okay, in that case, I need a proposer and a seconder for it. No, Kay is proposing and Steve will come and will second and all in favour, yeah. Yeah. Right, then. The internal audit, I think, internal audit report. All of that. You want to take us through it, Jackie?
Yep. So, yeah, basically, it was all good, all balanced. And there was a couple of policies that were out of date, but that was unfortunately just a timing because we'd updated them for the new website, which hadn't gone live. So Jane was obviously looking at some policies that I had updated, but it was, weren't visible. Yeah, there wasn't really anything major recommendations.
I thought this was last month. We did this.
No.
I remember the.
I probably circulated it.
Okay.
You probably read it last month.
Right,
It hasn't
okay.
actually
Only
been
point.
formally- Pardon?
I wasn't too sure on was the first recommendation about us verifying whether or not a sole trader is registered with HMRC. I don't really understand how that falls on us to,
Well, it's just good governance.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be
the thing is,
encouraging
you
people.
don't actually have to be registered if you are a sole trader.
I think it was more just to satisfy ourselves that they're paying their taxes.
Yes. I mean, it's good practice, it's an assurance.
That's what I'm saying, I assume there's an insurance for it, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, in terms of actually, we have, the odd person that does the odd job, they don't actually have to be registered, so
But
that's the only thing, I was like, well, how does that fall on us?
Well, the auditor likes it.
Okay, if the auditor likes it, that's fine, I just.
Which that's why she picks them up,
Yeah.
because I do have the odd
Yeah.
ones, but I do, you know.
Yeah.
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 I think it's more than the auditor likes it. I think it is recognised as good practice on for local councils. Well, actually, more than local councils, for all councils, including, Milton Keynes and so on, that you have to do this. If you're a government body, you just have to. Okay, so are we all? What do we do? This is just to consider it and note it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think again, Jane Olaf has recorded her thanks to Jackie for ensuring all questions were answered and information requested made available promptly. And I think we should formally thank Jane Olaf for doing the annual internal audit. Right, we now move on to the AGAR itself. which has to be approved in full council and has to be signed. So, can you, I think you will probably need to call this up. Because I'm going to say, is it okay for me to sign these papers? So I need to go through and actually tick all these.
Yeah, this,
So I'll read a statement and then we just got to say yes and I'll tick it, and that's the line done. We have put in place arrangements for effective financial management during the year and for the preparation of the accounting standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it easy. If anyone disagrees, shout out no.
I think you're supposed to do a show of hands actually for each one.
Oh, oh dear.
You want to do it?
We maintained an adequate system of internal control, including measures designed to prevent and detect fraud and corruption and review its effectiveness. Well, that's what we do.
I'll just keep my hand like this. Yeah. There you go. So,
Assured ourselves there are no matters of actual non-compliance with laws, regulations and proper practices that could have a significant financial effect on the ability of this authority to conduct its business or manage its finances. We provided proper opportunity during the year for the exercise of electors' rights in accordance with the requirements of the accounts and audit regulations. That was last June. Yeah. We carried out an assessment of the risk facing this authority and took appropriate steps to manage those risks, including the introduction of internal controls and or external insurance cover where required. There is a risk register. We maintained throughout the year an adequate and effective system of internal audit of the accounting records and control systems. We took appropriate action on all matters raised in reports from internal and external audit. We considered whether any litigation, liabilities or commitments, events or transactions occurring either during or after the year have a financial impact on this authority, and where appropriate have included them in the accounting statements. Yeah. The local councils only, that's us. Trust funds, including charitable one. In our capacity as the sole managing trustees, this is not applicable.
It's not applicable.
10, we have put in place arrangements for effective IT and data management in accordance with the proper practices during the year under review. Very good. I can sign, yeah? Everyone's
Yeah.
happy to sign. So we'll fill in the that side, so sign that. And now if we turn,
James done that one, that's internal audit.
yeah, it's this one here that I'll need to sign. So if you move on now to page 5, you'll see the figures for this year. And okay, well, is everyone happy for me to sign this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reconciliation and the explanation of variance, that's all on the website. Take it.
It will be when it's signed
It will
off.
be
but
when it's signed off.
I think the notice, I'm going to submit this tomorrow to Little John's, and then this will go on the notice board, the period for the exercise of public rights, so that's going to go on Wednesday, and that will be up until the 14th of July. If anybody wants to request input the figures, yeah.
There's been a bit of delay getting some of the AGARs up on. Are they up to date now?
Well, I don't know, they were, I sent her the documents, but they weren't going through,
Yeah.
so.
They're lagging a bit actually at the moment, aren't they? They've probably got a lot of projects. Anyway, may I sign these accounts? Right. So that is 8.3. 9 correspondence. I think we've dealt with the Sidfiver junction box in Lush Farm Court. It's just another one in that list. Is there any other?
So I go back to the residents and ask them to report it to City Fibre. Will you send me the contact details so that I can pass it on to you?
I'll just forward it to you now,
Thank you.
but they should do it as soon as possible if they haven't been connected.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other correspondence?
Oh, no.
No. Um,
Oh, sorry.
there was another City Fibre box came in. I saw.
Yes, there's three.
Three in total, yeah.
Yeah.
I put the pictures in the drive. So
Yeah,
one
I've
Lodge
got
Farm
pictures
Court.
on for the Lodge Farm Court.
Yeah, they're in the drive, Lodge Farm Court and two in South Street.
Yeah.
One was right by Victorian, right at the end, and she said it literally shook her house. So she was worried that there was going to be some structural damage to her property.
They made a lot of noise.
Yeah, so it's quite serious. On the correspondence, I had these posters. Are we? I'm part of Neighbourhood Watch. I didn't know.
No, it's not corporately, we're not. I mean, I get. I wasn't aware I'd ever joined it, but I seem to get the emails.
Oh, yeah. So I don't need to.
No. Well, you can put some of those up in there.
On the notes.
Anything else? Right. Any other business for noting or including on a future agenda? Steve?
Yeah, apparently the mower is overheating.
Yes.
I think we need to do something about that by the sound of it. I mean, it's just been in for a service and the guy serviced it, but don't know whether we had any thoughts on what was the problem.
No.
Well, the only reason a mower would overheat is if the cooling system's still working properly.
Yeah.
Well, if the radiators block grass, has anyone checked anything basic like
I
that?
would have thought you'd check it on the service.
Yeah.
How long after the servicing did it start to overheat?
Literally 2 cuts.
2 cuts. Well, it might be that the radiator face is full of grass because of the dry weather.
But surely Charlie would have checked that. I would have hoped
Yeah.
that Charlie would have checked that.
I don't know. I mean, it needs looking at. So,
I think
Well,
I mean, Charlie was apparently just way too narrow for it.
so.
How does he know it's overheating? Is there a heating gauge indicator?
Well, I think it just cuts out and then it starts again after it's cooled down, so he's assuming that's overheating.
Well, hopefully it will work now because it's a bit cooler than it has been.
Well, it was very hot on the days that. it was,
Yeah.
wasn't it? But I think Scott said it might have a leak with the radiator, which the service guy probably wouldn't have, well, he certainly wouldn't have fixed it as part of the service, would he?
Well, you should have checked for it. Huh?
you check the cooling system and into the.
I mean, he did top it up, so it obviously wasn't pouring out, otherwise we would have seen it. Because he did definitely top that up, because he said to me it was low. So he topped.
I might be able to get someone to have a look at it quickly. I've got a mechanic coming to do another job with TB testing tomorrow, but I'll try. How do I access it? So I can liaise with you. Okay, I'll have a look at it. And we'll perhaps put some radio sealants in it and just see what happens.
You're going to drive it up to him, Jackie?
No, I'm going to ring for the garage door. Right.
You know, when that thing first arrived, and they did some training. I kind of fancied, I could, do
I'll
it.
go with that.
And I started watching this thing and I thought, this is really quite a complex machine. I know it's easy
Yeah.
for someone like you.
Well, that's what
But
we were
for me-
saying. If it was going too fast, anyway, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be lovely, Lou, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else for the agenda, next agenda? No? So
The next
the,
agenda.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to discuss, following the meeting with the CSA, utilities at the sports ground.
Yeah, we're not in a position to tell them what's what tomorrow or
Well, I think,
Wednesday.
I don't really know, because I've not been involved in this, Steve, so I assumed tomorrow was, we were going to get together and find out where everyone was and what
Yeah.
everyone was doing, what everyone's hopes and aspirations. And then from there, report back to the Parish Council sports ground and have a discussion amongst ourselves to put something forward to the Parish Council.
Okay,
the electricity is actually quite clear now. That
Yeah.
has been agreed.
Yeah,
Um,
well, quite clear, but yeah.
yeah, water is potentially an issue, yeah.
But I just do not know how the system works and how we want it to work.
Okay,
I think we need to have a very clear path through the CSA of exactly what's happening.
Okay.
Then we know.
Well, I can speak on the electricity side.
Yeah,
Um,
the whole thing as it works as a whole as well.
yeah,
yeah,
I can
they're
do
gonna
that.
have to know,
I can do that.
they're gonna have to know, definitely.
Yeah.
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 But, okay. Good. Anything else?
Is there something, things that may arise, is that, we've got to that?
It's for
That's-
noting.
Yeah.
Well, noted, councillors, I have been in the process of trying to, as these things go, put in a planning permission to Milton Keynes Council. On the farm, it is, to explain the detail, it is to concrete the hard surfaces to improve the drainage and put intercept pits in to reduce contamination of soil into the catchment zone area. So it's done on approval from the sensitive catchment area officer. But there will be a planning permission going in. And when you look at it, it will be a large square meterage, but it's actually all within the kirtle of the existing farm. So it's not changing anything but the surface.
Okay. All right. Anything else? In that case, next meeting of the council is 7:30 on the Monday, the 6th of July. I did send a note out very quickly this afternoon for the parishes forum, where I have to get another draft agenda for it, and they have got highways coming at that. I think Graham Cox is coming to talk on highways. It's an in-person meeting. I hope you've got this, Alison, an in-person meeting with Graham Cox, the rare sighting. There's probably quite an interesting thing on the waterway system that John Best, who I think was the original chief executive of MKC when it was first founded, wasn't it? Is that John Best? I don't know. Anyway, I do recognise the name. But anyway, it's on the waterway system, which is presumably the connection between the canal near the Grand Union up to Bedford, and also King's Honours this or something. So I can't make that. Steve is.
I should be able to make
Yeah.
it, yeah.
But it would be good if someone else could consider
Wedding anniversary.
wedding anniversary.
18th of June.
Yeah.
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 I know when we went anniversary.
No,
That's a good question. I don't know.
You will have to inform my daughter, she's getting married on the 18th of June next year.
Right.
If you could give me a reminder,
Yeah, it's.
Anyway, so it would be good.
I'll need to check what I'm.
Yeah. Because you can always have two people there, you know, who's married.
In the evening?
I'll check the wife then.
Yeah, 7,
Yeah, it's-
5 till 8:30. Well, it starts
Works too much.
I mean, actually starts at 6.
6 till 8.
Right, it's a chance to meet the other councillors in person, which is increasingly rare these days. Right, that's it. So it's the end of part one of the meeting. So we'll move on to look at these quotes in part two. And so thank you everyone if you've been persevering with this meeting. And hopefully we'll see you on the 6th of July. Right.